at the lovely Golden Bear Club in Keens Point, Orlando, Florida, November 15th, 2006, with Brian Gay and Lynn Blake, enjoying some of this beautiful Orlando weather. Got a front moving in. Hope the wind doesn't interfere too much with this. Just starting the warm-up routine. What do you have there, Brian?
A sandwich.
And iron. 56?
Yep.
As you can see here, Brian is setting his right forearm on plane, directly on a line to the plane line. And you can see those hands beautifully at the top of the right shoulder. They're right shoulder high and on plane. In the golfing machine, there are 3 stations. There's an address, there's a top, there's a finish, and even a 1-inch putt has address, top, and finish. But another way we can define top is when those, show us right shoulder high, Brian. When the hands are right shoulder high and dead on plane, that is also known as top. Now for the more flexible among us and those who bend their arms and so forth and so on, there's also an end where you go past top, past right shoulder high, to an end location. I'm not even sure Brian can get there anymore. Used to be part of his bread and butter. And you really don't need to take them much higher than that, if any higher than that. Certainly if you're strong enough, you can reach top speed in the time from your right shoulder to impact. That's not a problem. The problem most of us have is we get it back too far and reach top speed before impact. Have you become more aware of that right forearm in recent months, Brian?
Yeah, the right forearm has been the whole key to everything.
And that's why it was so designated in 7.3 of the golfing machine, the magic of the right forearm. Brian has made marvelous progress this year, always been a wonderful player. Wire to wire last year, 2005, he was ranked 112th in scoring average actual. Wire to wire this year, just 12th. We eliminated the 100 part. And that's the best players in the world, folks. There are not too many names in front when there's only a group of 12. Now notice you're setting up from what we call impact fix. We have an impact fix condition of the hands. Your body's comparatively squared away. And then there's an adjusted address. Can you show us both? And then give us an insight into why you're choosing at the present time to do one versus the other, but are always open to.
There's adjusted there.
Have you done any more work with the pivot, Brian, rotationally to help bring the club through? Are you more aware of that?
I am when I hit the little punches.
Wow. Now, how many of those in the last? Why don't you tell that little story? This last winter, you had a little unfortunate encounter with the ski slope, did you not? The left arm is weak and it's in a pulling condition. It needs some help to get through, and that help comes either from the pivot, pulling it through, or from the right arm pushing it through. But other than that, it's inert. It has very little contribution to the stroke other than its structure, and that provides the radius of the stroke, and in and of itself is a very important function. It also constrains this right arm. As the left arm moves back in its straight condition, it forces the right arm to bend, so it acts as a leash, what we call the check rein of this right arm. And the right arm can trigger only as the hands move away from the right shoulder. So the triggering function of the right arm makes the left arm especially important. With regards to this loading, you can load. Let me demo this in a second. The loading then, or really the assembly. You've got the 2 arms in the club. You need to assemble this power package, and that assembly can start right off the ball. That's called sweep. it can be right at the end. That's called snap. Now the snap isn't done by snapping your hands like that. The snap is typically just the body loading it this way, but it's done at the end. And then between those you have a random loading, where it just random can start 1 inch past what sweep would be. But if you're 1 inch into it, you now have a random loading somewhere between immediate and at the end. So there is a startup, a backstroke, and as that happens, then the club moves into its assembled position at the top. So the loading and the assembly points become very important. Now the driver. Once again, the right forearm on plane. Notice, hold the club face to impact height. If it were at impact height, that ball is on center for impact. But with the hands held at their impact height, and the club then simply dropped to the ground, notice the ball falls toward the toe. You know what? I suppose, and I know there are guys out there who hit the ball a little further, but they cannot hit it any straighter than that or any more solid than that.